So this is a video to answer that question of how do I know when I'm ready to step back into a relationship? And first of all, I just want to let you know, don't worry, you're always in a relationship. We are relational beings. We exist in this universe, in this world. We have relationships with everything that we do. If you don't believe that, stop breathing for a while and explore your relationship with air. You know, trees and the ocean breathe out and we breathe in. It's this oxygen that is produced and we produce the carbon dioxide. We're in a constant relationship there. So you're always in a relationship. But romantic relationships for someone with anxious attachment can be the real challenges. They can bring up the deepest kind of core wounds and the deepest triggers, especially as you get more and more sort of involved in that relationship. And so the key is to really just understand where is that point at which you're growing and you're able to transmute these triggers and these things that are coming up, and you've got tools and you feel resourced and you've got support network to actually transmute these different things that are coming up for you. And where are you hitting points where it's just a complete overwhelm, you're just repeating old patterns, you're maybe even re-traumatizing yourself because you're just going through, you know, really challenging lessons again and again and again. So it's really starting to know where that is internally, and what's right for you. That you're always right, and the relationship that you're in or not in is always the perfect place to be. So where you are right now is perfect. So release that pressure first of all, because everything we do based on, you know, all of our conscious and subconscious thoughts and desires and everything, and, you know, beyond us as well. It's all kind of leading us to do and be exactly who we are in this exact moment. So if you're not in a relationship, trust that right now you're not supposed to be in a relationship in this very second. You know, that might change in the next second, but in this exact moment, you're where you're supposed to be. And when we bring a bit of acceptance to where we are, that's the first step of bringing some loving awareness and loving compassion to ourselves. And this is how we build a relationship with ourselves. We release those expectations and those thoughts that we're supposed to be anywhere different than we are now. Just trust everything that you've been through, that you're aware of, has led you to be exactly where you are right now. That's perfect. Now, you might not want to be here, so there might be some resistance to what is, and it might be completely valid because you sense and you've got a real deep desire to step back into a relationship, but you've also got a lot of fear to contend with. You've got a lot of worries about old patterns showing up, things that might not go right again. You know, maybe you've been through a painful breakup, a divorce, like whatever it is. Just know that that fear is also trying to serve you. And so fear, this is quite deep, but fear is also a form of love. So the fear that's blocking you from doing something is a part of yourself loving yourself enough to create some resistance to doing the thing. So when you understand that, that's another layer of compassion and love that you realize that you're already giving to yourself. And then on the more practical, you know, level, what are some indications that you might be open or ready for a relationship? And it is with another, a romantic relationship. And it is the fact that you've done you're starting to build a relationship with yourself, and you're willing to build that relationship with yourself and the other. You really want to understand yourself, and you're in a place where you're ready and willing to want to understand another. And once you've reached that place where the fears aren't the most overwhelming thing, then you will naturally be open and seek out a relationship. And you'll do the steps that are required to create that. But just trust that if you're struggling to step into a relationship now, or you're maybe going back into a relationship but you're feeling a lot of fear coming up, trust you're where you're supposed to be. And so the best thing you can do is learn to connect with yourself fully, build that self-relationship. The more you do this, the more naturally you'll be empathetic towards another and another person's process and how they may be in building up their own relationship with themselves. And then become curious about them. And hopefully they're curious about you as well. If they're not curious about you, maybe you can notice, hey, like, this isn't what I deserve. I deserve someone to be curious and affectionate and loving towards me, whatever your values are, whatever's really important to you. And just take steps towards that. And just trust that the growth will come. The triggers will happen. Life is very much like a mirror, and so whatever is unhealed within us will be amplified massively by a close partner if we've got anxious attachment tendencies. And so just be open to that, be aware of that. Start practicing by giving yourself that inner support. Build up awareness of the different tools and the communities and the coaches and the therapists and the healers that you can connect with. So you're feeling resourced yourself and ready to step into something. There's a few sort of extra points that I think are kind of quite pertinent to men specifically. One is accepting that vulnerability is courage. And we've been slightly conditioned, and this is shifting, but we have been slightly conditioned in our society to hold things in, to not express, to need to solve everything ourselves. If that's worked for you, great. But if it hasn't, be open to doing things differently, would be my suggestion. And yeah, bring yourself a lot of love. That will naturally reflect outwards in a partnership. And be willing to do the work. Trust that these things might not be easy, the process might not be easy. There will be challenges, so make sure you're ready within yourself. If you know anything about the nervous system, you want to be in this, it's called like a window of tolerance basically, where you're not overly triggered and getting re-traumatized, and you're not just clocking out completely and going into like freeze or flight, where you're sort of running away or you're shutting down completely. Nervous system regulation is really important. And it's coming to that point where we feel comfortable within ourselves. There will be triggers. The nervous system is designed to sort of respond to life. It's beautiful in that way. But if you're noticing that even on your own, you're already getting triggered and you're getting overwhelmed, just stay with yourself, seek those resources, seek the support, do the work that's going to support you and coming into a bit of more regulation. Then naturally, you'll start to open up more to the idea of, hey, maybe I do want a relationship, or I'm feeling a bit more ready there. And just notice what's happening within you. Yeah, I hope this is helpful. I do support men with coaching around anxious attachment. I'm also looking to create a community as well. So if you're open and interested in that, please leave a comment or send me a message. And yeah,